Well, hello folks, and welcome to the next video in the Mysteries of the Cathar country range. And this is going to be a book review of some of the Knights Templar books that I've dragged off the shelf here for perusal. Okay. Now, there are quite a few, so what I've decided to do is split them into two halves. Okay. So we'll leave this till for next time, and we'll concentrate on these few here. So where better to start than the Holy Blood and the Holy Grail? Now this is where it all started for me, really. I actually saw a Henry Lincoln film many years ago. It was a Chronicles film, and then I saw a video, and this really built up my interest in the Cathar country. So the first book to get, obviously, is the Holy Blood, Holy Grail. So this was written by the three authors, Albigensian, Richard Lee and Henry Lincoln. It was actually written mainly by Richard Lee, with Albigensian putting bits in. And you can see when you read through the book, it's quite a heavy read, but as you get through it, you can see where the writing styles flip, and you can tell that Lee has changed to Bayesian and back, where Henry Lincoln did a lot of the original research. Now this, of course, became a bestseller when it came out. It really was a big bestseller, and it also inspired the Da Vinci Code, which was, of course, was a massive film in itself, wasn't it? A book and a film. And at the time, there was a court case between it was actually between Bayesian and Lee and the Da Vinci Code author, which was gone straight from my head, but you all know. Anyway, it was just strange that the books were both published by a random house at the same time. It was kind of a court case against each other. And I remember looking at the displays in the bookshops, like in Waterstones, and you had the Holy Blood and the Holy Grail and the Da Vinci Code together. So it was a really massive stunt, really, I'd imagine. Well, when it first came out, it was obviously a massive stunner to the Orthodox Church, because the ideas of Jesus being married to Mary Magdalene and actually having children and a bloodline was an amazing thing for that time, and it shocked the very foundation of the church, really. But as years go on, obviously we look at something like that now, and it doesn't really resonate with us as a problem, does it? The church has declined massively. So ideas about the Jesus in bloodline is no great shocker anymore. But this actually, the Holy Blood and Holy wasn't the first time that this came out. But when it did reach the surface, it was a massive shocker at the time. Now, as you go through the book, it starts with some original study of Rennes-le-Château, which is something we'll come on later on. After the Templars, we'll do the Cathars, and I think Rennes-le-Château after that. So it goes all the way through the Rennes-le-Château mystery, which is absolutely fascinating. It really is. It goes off in so many different directions. And then you've got the story. It goes through the Cathars, because as we've said, we're talking about the mysteries of the Cathar country, and Rennes-le-Château is right in the right centre in the Cathar country. So they're all the stories combined: Rennes-le-Château, Bérengère-Saunière, the Cathars, and the Templars. And it's the Templars at the moment that we're looking at. So the Holy Blood and Holy Grail, it's quite a difficult read, but it goes through in depth. It goes through the Orthodox stories of how the Templars came about and the lifespan of the organisation. It goes into the mysteries behind it, and it also goes into the hidden side. Okay, so everything is in here. It also talks about the secret societies, which are prevalent in the area of the Languedoc and also in Paris at the same time, and Lyon, strangely enough. So it talks about the Priory of Zion, the Templars, the Merovingians, and all the different organisations that exist or may exist in the background. Now, this obviously led to the theory that the Holy Grail wasn't the Holy Grail, it was San Graal, meaning the veil of blood, which they said was Mary. So the bloodline. So really that gives you the theory of the bloodline. It's all in the book. I say it's no means an easy read, but it's something, if you want to get a real deep foundation into the subject, this is one that I would definitely recommend. There's only one problem I found with the Holy Blood Holy Grail, and I hesitate to say it, but I will. As you make your way through, it puts forward various propositions, and then without actually proving the propositions, it then moves on and says, well, if that's true, then blah, 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 it moves on. So it's working, and 2 or 3 times it does it through the book. So we're working from propositions which are not necessarily proven, but they still build a theory from there. But, having said that, the most fundamental book of the whole subject, Holy Blood, Holy Grail. So, Knights Templar, moving on. The next one we're looking at here is The Knights Templar by Sean Martin. I have to say Sean is a friend of mine, so what do you want to say? But Sean actually, he published my first book for me in his company, my Anglesey book. So, it's obviously a pocket book, very small one. Now it goes through mainly the Orthodox theories of the Templars. It's it's precise, it's an account of the Templars from the birth of the order right the way through. It talks about the First Temple, talks about the Crusades, talks about the Council of Troy, or Troyes, as we've mentioned. It talks about the Templars as bankers and the huge organisation that they built, all the businesses, the multi-businesses that they built. It goes through the connection with Islam, where the Templars came in contact with Islam and Saladin in the Holy Land. It talks about the loss of Jerusalem and then the fall of the order. It does go into some of the associated myths, like the controversial ideas in the beginning and the possible occult background to the story of the Knights Templar. Now it points out as well that Guillaume de Taille, who we've mentioned in the First Templar video, that his accounts are spurious at the least, and Sean does point that out. And then, interestingly, he talks about the connection with Parzival, and then Christian de Troyes, his story of the Grail in Parzival. That's a Parzival and Parzival. Parzival was William von Eschenbach, but the fact that Christian de Troyes, what should I say? I don't want to ruin my next video, but the fact that Christian de Troyes wrote the Parzival myth obviously brings us back to the Council of Troy and the Count of Champagne again. So then it goes into some of the post-Templar activities, which we'll go in later, the Masonic connection, blah, 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 blah. Now, it's a fine, short pocket volume, and you can, but the writing is very, very small. It's easy to read, as long as you've got some glasses, but it'll give you a pocket-sized version of the whole subject. But that's Sean Martin's book. The next one, The Templars, History and Myth. This is by Michael Haig. It's good. So the Daily Telegraph said that it was a well-knit narrative through an enormous spread of history, and they got that right. So it's basically like, the strapline here is From Solomon's Temple to the Freemasons, a guide to Templar history, culture and locations. So really a lot in here. It's the same as Sean Martin's book, except it's bigger in size and it's bigger in quality. in quantity, sorry, not quality. Sorry, Sean. It goes into deeper because it's a lot bigger, so it can. It covers pretty much the same area as the Knights Templar, Sean Martin's book. But like I say, it's every subject you're going to deeper and deeper and deeper. So it's very much a straight history. Again, it's a history book, but it does enter at the end into the myths and the legends. So it is very much like Sean Martin's book, except bigger. It's probably the best thing you can say about it. And then it goes into areas, which is, as it says, in there's locations. So it actually looks at some areas where the Templars settled. It looks at Ottoman, the Holy Land. It looks at Jerusalem, and then it comes over to Europe, and it's got, and you're looking at Spain, Portugal, France, and Britain. It covers one area that we go on a tour to the Santiago de Compostela tour down into Spain, and we stop when we do that tour at Ponferrada, and it talks about Ponferrada, which is amazing, because Ponferrada is a Templar stronghold, and it's got a huge Templar castle there. We stay there for a couple of days. Sometimes there's a Templar fair on, and it's absolutely amazing. It talks about the temple in London, and in Portugal, Tamora, which is a place I haven't been to yet. But that's a Templar town in Portugal. I tend to go. I will go there. I put it down on the Portugal tour this year, and obviously because of circumstances we didn't manage to go. So this is at the back. It asks some questions which are answered in the book. It says, who were the Templars? What was the secret? Should have my glasses on for this. What was the secret of their wealth and power? Were esoteric beliefs? What esoteric beliefs did the Templars have when they travelled to the east? Why did the Pope and the King of France want to destroy them? How did the Vatican come to admit the Templars into? Is there a genuine Templar legacy in the Freemasons and the secret societies? So there you go. That is Michael Haig's book, The Templar History and Myth. Now then, we're going to move on now to the Rex Deus stories. And to do that, we'll look at these three individual books here. Now obviously the first one is the one I mentioned in my talk, the first talk of the Knights Templars, and that's Rex Deus. The actual title is The True Mysteries of Rennes-le-Château and the Dynasties of Jesus. Now this is a fascinating book. It's by Marilyn Hopkins, Graham Simmons and Tim Wallace-Murphy. Tim actually lives down in the Languedoc, so he's very much in the area of Rennes-le-Château to look into the secrets there. And he begins with the whole story of, as we said, in the Holy Blood, Holy Grail, the explosive revelation of the marriage of Jesus to Mary Magdalene and the bloodline that comes from that. Now he takes the Holy Blood and the Holy Grail further. Okay, it goes from where the Holy Grail ended. They move on from there and they take the story to a different level. Now, where it started from was a meeting. Tim Wallace-Murphy was speaking at a society at Rennes-le-Château near Edinburgh. And on that talk, he met a guy called Michael. And Michael said, I agree with all this background information that you're coming out with here, because I am part of that family, and my family goes back to the 24 priests, the high priests, of the Temple of Jerusalem, which is Solomon's Temple. So Tim Wallace-Murphy looked into this and found it, from what Tim says, to be true. So this led to the whole story of the Rex Deus, and it sort of ballooned from there, really. And Tim spent pretty much many years studying this story and taking it further and further and further. He looked into the connection to the Templars of the society. He looked into the associated mysteries. He went through the Albigensian Crusade and later on to the Freemason and more. So it's an amazing book, an absolutely amazing book. It leads the relative safety of the last two books that we met, or the orthodoxy of the last two books that we've just been through, and takes it out into a much deeper mystical level. I highly recommend reading it, I really do. It leads you a lot more into areas that we cover in my book, The Mysteries of the Cathar country, because I read this and that really pointed me in a direction to one of my chapters there. So, the next book, The Custodians of Truth. Now this is it's by Tim Wallace-Murphy and Marilyn Hopkins working together again. Now it's a continuation of the Rex Deus book. So if you want to go further, you read The Custodians of Truth. It's the same very fluid, easy to read style of writing which Tim and Marilyn have got. And the story takes it to the next level, okay. I'll give you an idea of some of the titles, okay. I'll flip through a few. So it goes to the esoteric Gnosticism. It looks at the origins in Jerusalem. It looks at the Babylonian exile, the revelations of the temple, John the Baptist. John the Baptist is a big part of the story as well, down in Long and Up, because his 24th of June, his high day, is still celebrated down there and over into Spain. It's a big event. The destruction of the temple, rabbinical Judaism and Rex Deus. Then it talks about the Knights Templar, which obviously is the story that we're focusing on. So it goes the beliefs of the Knights Templar, the genocide of regression, the Holy Inquisition, the decline and fall of the Knights Templar, and then it goes through lots of different stories and events associated with the Knights Templar, and then it comes and talks about the Sinclairs of Rosslyn, so which is somewhere we go at Christmas. Now then, the last book. Now I've included this because it doesn't call the families of Rex Deus. It just says the bloodline of the Holy Grail, and that is in the title of the book. And the strapline is the hidden lineage of Jesus revealed. So you can see how it very much connects with Tim Wallace-Murphy's books, and it's written by Lawrence Gardner. And it was also a bestseller, and it was a bestseller on the Sunday Times. So it's our second bestseller of our little collection here. It started with the Holy Blood and the Holy Grail, and the Bloodline of the Holy Grail. Strangely similar titles, methinks. Anyway, it follows the same basic subject matter as Tim Wallace-Murphy's book, but it comes at it from a different direction, and it comes at it from a different origin, okay. Now, it's quite a heavy read, I have to say, it really is, and it is a very, very in-depth study. Unfortunately, Lawrence died 10 years ago. I heard him speak a few times, and he really was a brilliant man. He was absolutely fascinating. Now, Lawrence Gardner referred to himself as the Jacobite historiographer royal of the House of Stuart. So he was saying that basically he worked for the House of Stuart as the royal bibliographer. Now he produces amazing family trees at the back of the book. They're going to go on for pages and pages and pages. Starting off at the House of Herod and going right through to Prince Michael Stuart of 1963. So he's taking that bloodline from 1963 right the way back to King Herod. Now the book takes you down through the generations of the Holy Bloodline, allegedly from hidden and suppressed sources. So obviously, what we're saying is that, as Tim Wallace-Murphy said, this bloodline had to go underground and hide itself because of the Roman Church's heresy laws, basically. And it's pretty much a response to Tim Wallace-Murphy's book. It's of the same lines, it takes you in a different direction, it's very, very deep, but if it's a subject you find that you're getting into, then that is the next one to read. So that is our 6 books for the day. Okay, now what I've done, I've put them all in the link in the description below this video, so if you want to get any of them, please do. That would be a help for me. I get a very small commission, and I'm doing this full time now because obviously the way things are going, tours aren't really something I can do. So please do click on subscribe. So I'm trying to build the channel up. Make any comments. You say I'll try and get back to you if you make a comment, because I want this to be a two-way thing. Click on the bell, make a comment, click on subscribe, and my PayPal link is down there, so if you want to just help out, you can make a donation at 104, a monthly donation, and that's it. So I hope that's helpful to you, and I'll see you in the next video.